can't be fucked with, no. Oh, you can't touch this. Hey, bitch, I don't rich shit. My money thick. Hey, walk with a.
Okay, so jumping right into this video, you guys, as you guys can see, I went ahead, hopped into the car, drove 40 minutes so I can go ahead and get to this beauty supply store so I can try the pink lemon Remy hair for you guys today. I saw a lot of mixed reviews with this hair, and so I wanted to go ahead and just try it for myself so I can come and give a raw, honest review on this hair, and then come back maybe like 3 weeks later or like 2 months or whatever, and then give like an update. This will be going under my affordable hair. I mean, I'm really like in between with the price because it's like on the affordable side, but at the same time it could be cheaper, but that's just literally in my opinion. Now for starters, I am going to go ahead and be braiding my hair down so I can go ahead and begin sewing the weave to my scalp, well, my braids, net, whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. Now I did not want to go ahead and do the braids too thin because that's a lot of tension on your hair. I wanted to go ahead and make my braids thick and breathable so I can be able to not only finish quickly but manage my braids under my sewing as well. Now when you are doing this, the size of your braids do not matter as long as they're not like really big and doofy, because you do need for the braids to be, you know, laying flat, and so for your install to be flat as well. So just be very mindful of that. And the braid pattern that I am going to be doing is just a regular traditional sewing foundation braid pattern. I am still perfecting my craft with the sewing period, and I feel like with this install I did a perfect job with laying down the braids flat and properly. So let me know down in the comment section below if you guys would like a more in-depth video on how I do my braid foundation for a sew-in. But after I am going to go ahead and finish up braiding my hair, I am going to go and just basically connecting the last 2 strands from all the braids that I just finished braiding. I just braid them all into 2 big braids, and then I go ahead and I place my net on just so I can secure those 2 braids in place and it's not like wobbly out anywhere. And then once my net is on, I am going to go ahead and start the sewing process.
Been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been
So I did begin sewing off camera my bundles, so I'm already like 3-4 rows in this video. Now the wefts were not too thick. It was very easy for my needle to go ahead and go through. I was able to go ahead and place it through with no struggle and no issues. I did have to go ahead and double the wefts because they were a little bit too thin for my liking, but once we got that situated, it was good to go. So when you are using this hair, please beware. If you do like a thick full look, you will have to go ahead and double the wefts. We are just going to go ahead and sew this weft up all the way until it is sealed. And I made this mistake plenty of times before. When you are sewing, make sure it's not a large gap in between each time you are sewing, because when it is a large gap, it is going to be a lot of lumps. Like the wefts will be like, it will be a thick gap and you could like put your finger through. You don't want that to happen. Just make sure there are no gaps in between these wefts. That's all. Now, for some reason, you guys, my braids did look a bit old in these videos, but I don't know why. But I promise you guys, it was fresh. The only thing I can say, every single time I was pulling my net down, it was ripping more and more. I had to try and make sure I wasn't leaving the holy areas exposed. But I just started working with the net kind of wig caps, and I think I like them way more because it's easier for me to itch my scalp, one, and then it's easier for me to go ahead and apply any type of oil or moisturizer that I do have for my hair throughout the time I have it in a protective style such as this one. We are working our way to the top and going ahead and finishing with the first bundle. I am going to go ahead and continue speeding up the video for the sake of this video not being too long and for the fact that I just want to get through the video. So I did want to make sure I was going ahead and making sure all the wefts were lined up properly. So before I even began to sew the wefts onto my braids and my net, I will go ahead and measure them up, just pulling that weft to my braid that I am going to be leaving out, and then going ahead and traveling all the way to the other side and making sure it lines up perfectly. A lot of people do go ahead and just double it, like when it's too much they just go around one more time, but I do go ahead and cut it. I don't really care to like cut them. That is just me. Now, I will not lie, being able to do your hair is a blessing, but the way I be sitting, my back literally starts hurting, and sometimes I'm not able to see. I have to feel my way through a lot of the times, and like I literally make mistakes over and over and over again. So when you are doing your own hair, do not put too much pressure on yourself, because you will make mistakes and that's okay, and you will get better. You will not like just get it on the first try, and that is okay, literally. Also want to make sure when you're sewing your hair, it's not too tight, because that can definitely cause a lot of tension, and you can literally feel when it's pulling on your hair. So if you do have to go ahead and cut the thread that you just did and fix it, adjust it, whatever, so it can not hurt anymore, go ahead and do that, because tension on your hair is not good. It can cause headaches, bald spots, just things that we do not want. Now, when I first opened this hair, it was flowy, it was silky, and just extremely soft. Like I said though, in my honest opinion, I do feel like the hair could have been thicker, and the shedding was at a minimal. I do not really care about shedding because it is weave. It's the excessive shedding that I am mostly worried about. And now the lengths that I chose was the 22, the 20, and the 18 inch. And to me, it was true to length. I am 5'4", and the hair did pass my chest area, and the hair was body wave, so I am 100% sure once it is straightening, it will appear longer. Now we are going to go ahead and open the packaging for the 20 inch, and of course I am working in order from longest to shortest, so I started with the 22 inch and now I am moving over to the 20 inch. So as you guys know, today I am going to be using my famous 5 Below mirror. I love this little mirror. If you guys are interested in getting a mirror like this, I am going to go ahead and put the description in the I'm going to put the link in the description box below. We are almost at the top. I am going to go ahead and start sewing. This part is the only part that I went ahead and flipped the hair back, just because I wanted to go ahead and create the illusion of thickness. So instead of cutting that extra weft off, I did go ahead and just flip it towards the back and then sewed working backwards, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Now, before we go ahead and get started, this is the 18-inch. As you guys can tell, you guys can see how flowy the hair is, and you guys can also see the length of the hair. Now, I did have some pieces left over from my 20-inch, but because I know I wanted it to be layered and I wanted to work longest to shortest, I did go ahead and just stop doing the 20-inch and then started to install the 18-inch just to create that layered effect. And now that I am turned to the back, you guys can also see how long it is, and you guys can also see me installing it from a completely different angle. Off topic, but I do think that doing your hair by yourself and then having all that hair and like product around you does get frustrating. That's like one of the only things that frustrates me, having all that hair just piled up around me. Kind of confuse me and frustrates me. And I am for sure grateful to be able to know how to do my own hair and not have to, like, you know, wait on a deposit or like an appointment or whatever, or have anybody cancel on me. Like, I like the fact that I can just sit here and just take the time out to learn how to do it. I feel like it's like some sort of superpower to be able to know how to do hair or like do lashes or do makeup and, you know, things like that. And at this point, y'all, I don't know if you guys can tell that I was tired, but I was tired. Like, outside of YouTube, I am a mom, so like when it comes to days like this, I get very, very tired, especially after a long day and then having to unwind and then do my hair and stuff. And on this channel, I love to show my mistakes. So right here, I realized that I effed up basically, and then I had to cut it out and then do it all over again. Now, I kind of braided it, sewed it actually too tight, and remember what I told you about the tension and the sewing and it pulling onto your hair. You want to go ahead and make sure that that is not happening. So I had to go ahead and do some readjustments for myself. And you also want to make sure that you are sewing in the correction. I don't know if this is a common mistake for a lot of people, but there has been times where I was sewing and I was sewing like it would be straight and then it will go up, or it will go down, or I will be sewing into another weft that I had, which, you know, that's all messed up. It is going to be very tangled, and it can cause for you to have a lot of breakage or for you to accidentally cut your hair when it is time for you to take it down. So you do want to make sure that you are avoiding that by just, when you are sewing, try to make sure there's no hair in the way first of all, and then try to trail your finger as much as you can if you do not have like a mirror or something like that, or someone to help you or let you know, hey, you are not sewing straight. And this has been a very, very long video, so if you guys did make it to this basically towards the end of the video, go ahead and drop how long it takes for you to go ahead and complete your sewing. I want to know how long it takes you guys on average to go ahead and complete your sewing when you're doing hair for a client or for yourself. Maybe does it take longer when you're doing it for yourself versus when you're doing it for a client? I would like to know what's the tea for that. I want to see the comments. I want to create some dialogue in the comments, so go ahead. At this point, you guys, I was literally falling asleep. Like, I don't know how I'm able to feel and just know what I'm doing, but I was literally falling. I know y'all see my eyes. Finally, we have made it to the top, and we're gonna go ahead and just seal it off, making sure that we don't have any tracks showing, making sure that we have enough wefts, create that full look, and making sure it's aligning with the braid that we have for our natural hair, to just go ahead and blend that. I truly hope I just explained that correctly. But this is going to be the last bundle, and sometimes I do like to add, like if it's not thick enough to my liking, I do like to just go over the wefts and maybe just double them, like add another weft or go ahead and glue them. Usually it saves me a lot of time when I do glue them, but when I'm taking it out, it is a hassle, so I do not really recommend that. In my honest opinion, what I do recommend would be for you guys to double the weft basically before you sew it onto your hair, just so you can get an idea of how thick it will be before you place it onto your hair. Now, as you guys can see, I have no crazy gap in between where I'm going to go ahead and start blending my natural hair and where the tracks start. As you can see, it's kind of like a V shaped, but it's just basically the pattern that I created when I went ahead and not only sewed it, but put as much hair as I wanted to for my leave out. So we are now finally done with the sewing process, and we are going to go ahead and move on to the blending process. As always, any product that I am using, I will link in the description box below. Of course, I already went ahead with my Bio Silk and put it on my hair just to moisturize it and protect it from any heat damage. And to go ahead and blend my hair today, I am using the Remington flat iron that I got from Target. No, this is not a paid sponsorship. I've been using this flat iron for like decades now. It's literally just that much of a good, reliable flat iron. And of course, like I said before, all the items will have a link for where you can buy them in the description box, or maybe in the first comment. So as you know, as always, I am going to go ahead and use my Bio Silk, which is good for protecting your hair when you are using any type of heat. If you're using a blow dryer or if you're using your flat iron, this is not sponsored. This is just me going ahead and showing you guys what I use preferably. And though we are using our Bio Silk, please be careful with the temperature that you have your flat iron on or whatever you're using on, because it protects it, but you can also still get heat damage. Depending on your hair type, how moisturized your hair is, you will need just a few passes, 1, 2, maybe, not too much. And as you can see for this video, I did not blend my natural hair, but I did go ahead afterwards and just get a permanent hair dye in the color black and went over my natural leave out. Now this step of course is optional. I don't know if Pink Lemon gives have closures in stock. I will check for you guys, but if they do, you can go ahead and use the closure if you don't want to have your natural hair out, or you can just do a color corrector. I don't know how long those last, but I do know that they sell them at CVS or your local beauty supply store. You can go ahead and pick one up for the color that you need, for example jet black, and I just burnt my finger. And I do have my flat iron on the lowest temperature, which for me is 375. You will be seeing me section my hair off just so I can go ahead and know which pieces I did not do and which pieces was already done. Next, I will be going ahead and moving on to our layering process, which is my favorite process. Now to me, layers brings a plain old straight hair to flowy, beautiful, curly. It just to me gives it a lot of character when I go ahead and I add some layers into my hair. I know I said that we reached the end before, but seriously, this is the end of the video and this is how it came out. I, of course, went over my hair with my hot comb once again, and this video here that you are seeing is after I dyed it with the permanent. So I hope you guys enjoy. 'Cause I don't want this simple life. It's the fine things I like.